as we kick off here, you can see we are really moving here, full stream ahead with the calorie row, max calorie row. Lots of pulling going on here. You can see some serious calories being burned here. Little view from the floor here, getting Route 33s rowing in, and in the distance there, you can see Beyond Limits training off in the distance. So the struggle is real, everyone. We've got some serious calories being burned here. We've got 4 minutes left. 4 minutes left on the row. So again, those transitions are key. If they're slow to get off the rower, can't get unstrapped, they're losing valuable time.
It goes to 12.
It says 11.
11?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Someone has to row for.
Yeah, there's 11.
Hey guys, they're not having fun on these rowers. They're trying to crank it out.
That 11 minutes gets pretty heavy after a few minutes.
I still looking around down there, and I'm sure the screen captures it just as well too, but even the people that rowed first are still catching their breath. So
what are you seeing?
Pretty impressive.
What are you seeing so far as the best transition strategy? Are you seeing people just going for a couple minutes, or just going until they're tired, or what are you seeing?
Well, I mean, I think when you come out of the gate and you go as hard as you possibly can, even though they're trying to get as many calories as you can, you have to have a pacing strategy. And I think it's easy to convince yourself to go as hard as you can because your team's going to go.
So we've got Route 33 at around 186, 187 calories and counting. So I don't know how that stacks up to the other rowers in the competition, but
with 2.5 minutes to go, I would say it'd be really impressive to see about a 275 to 300 score. That would be insane.
Yeah, that'd be pretty impressive. I think, putting that damper at 10, if that's your strategy, you're going to get 2 calories per row. The problem is you're going to max out real fast because each one of those chain pulls is harder and harder and harder. Having a little bit of a sheep herding issue here with people sitting in the wrong sections. So, don't record. Don't record. Make sure you don't hit the red button. You shouldn't be trying to record it. A lot of activity happening down here. We have 60 seconds. So now they've got to decide here. They're going to go all out. We don't want jelly legs going into the deadlift. So I'm assuming whoever finishes the pulling here is not going to be the first one on the deadlift. So let's see what happens as people get off these rowers and transition over to the deadlifts. We got 40 seconds left. Side pocket in my bag. With all the medical gear, there should be an orange band. Green Nike. So we are down to 20 seconds. 20 seconds remaining in event 1. Athletes are pulling for as many calories as they can get. We are coming up on the last 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and event 2. So let's see the transitions here. Let's watch as all the ants move over to the deadlift bars. You can see 2 quick deadlift pulls out of lane 7. So they're getting those knocked out quick. So transition was pretty smooth for all these guys so far. So this is where the strategy pulls in. Now this is a deadlift ladder, so they have to do 2 reps at a time. No letting go of the bar, no dropping from the top until their second rep is over. So they're also responsible for loading their own weight. The men's ladder is 225, 275, 315, 345, 365, 385, and 405. The women are 155, 185, 205, 225, 245, 265, and 285. They've got an 8-minute cap. Now that 8-minute cap gives them the ability to get as many of these standards in as possible, as many of these weights as possible. So the athletes are going to come in and do a 2 deadlift ladder. Basically what that means, they've got to go to the bar, do two deadlifts. Each one of the athletes has to do the same weight before they move on. Once the weight changes, they cannot change it backwards. They can only go up. So as they're putting the weights on the bar, both athletes, or all 3 of the males, have to try it on the male bar. All 3 of the women have to try it on the women bar. If a male or a female fails, they are done. Once the weight moves up, they are done. So they could give it another attempt. Let's say athlete 1 fails, athlete 2 and 3 succeed. Athlete 1 could try it again before they change the weight. Now, the way this is scored is it's a cumulative weight. So all 6 athletes will have a deadlift weight. Those are added together, and then that's how we figure out the winner of the event. Now, if everyone, it's not going to happen, but let's just say everyone gets 405 for the men, and everyone gets the top weight of 285 for the women, then we would have a max out score. There's nothing above those weights. So you might have 2 or 3 teams ranked number 1 for this event. It's possible. But I think with the time cap, I don't think we're going to see all these teams get up that high, especially when we see some failures and some retries. So we have to try to figure out here what's going to happen. See what the different strategies are. So we've got an attempt coming up here on lane 9 with CrossFit Olentangy. Good lifts, good lifts. See a couple of things happening here at the same time.
It's down there. It's on top of that black box.
So people are taking off some shirts for the ladies. Maybe for the men too. We'll see. Who knows? A little bit of flexing going on. Little shirt removal. We're only in event 2 and shirts are coming off, people. Shirts are coming off. It's already happening. I think we're going to see some serious sweat angels after this event. People are moving fast here. Really quick transition periods here between lifters. So it looks like we're up to... We've got a couple of people up to the 365 already for the men. So we got 345 in a couple spots, 365 in a couple. We got some good lifts happening here.
14 and a half minutes in, and they are cranking through it. Working.
Got some serious weight being moved around here. So we got over in lane 4. Lane 4, we've got 11th Element. They're rocking out their 2 rep deadlifts. They're at 245. 2 good lifts so far from that group. And I think we might have gotten 3, and we're changing plates now for them. So again, this is part of that strategy, that transition period. Who changes the weights? Who's preparing for the deadlift? How quick are they moving? Are they resting a little bit? We've only got an 8-minute cap on this event. So, once that clock says 19 minutes, from event 1 to event 2, we are done. Doesn't matter where you are. It's your cumulative score at that point. All the men, all the women added up together, and that's how we're going to rank them together. Here we go. We got a big lift here for the ladies. Come on. Having a little trouble getting that off the floor. Now again, as long as they don't move those weights up, she can take another attempt after the other 2 athletes. But as soon as they move that weight up, they are done. And the other 2 athletes must move on without them. So it might make sense for your weakest deadlifter to go first. Give him a second attempt. Or do you move on without him? Really depends. If your deadlifters can get up to 405, it might make sense to let them go up there and get that weight. Adding another 20 pounds for someone slows them down. but it also gets that cumulative up a little bit higher. Got a little support going on here. Here we go with the lift, and we've got a female good lift for one. A little bit of a re-grip, but her hands were still touching the bar. Oh, she's struggling. Get it up there. She got it. Oh, they didn't give it to her. Didn't give it to her. Looks like she might be going to get some chalk. There's a good lift here in the corner. And two in the corner. Good lifts. Right in front of her. Same team going. Good lifts.
Best friends. They were heavy hitters.
Oh, wow. We got some big weight being moved around over here. All right.
The bar caps out at what?
Well, 405 is the men's top weight. We're at, let's see, 365 plus whatever that is. Looks like they're at 385 maybe? No, 405 I think is where they're at maybe. 15s and 5s, I think they're at their top weight here. Looks like they're capping out here. Let's see what happens with these. Got them resetting. The women are making their attempt. We've got, what do we got on here? 135, 125, an extra 50, 175 plus another. Wow. Big lifts, big lifts. And we got Chuck the scorer. He's in the frame, getting his 15 minutes of fame. Let's take a little shot here and see what's going on. Get a little bit of the activity. You can see how much movement we got going on this stage here. We are 1 minute away. 1 minute away. Athletes have 1 more minute to try to get to that 405. Again, that transition with plate changes and athletes change into the bar. That's huge. That's huge. We are in Heat 1, Event 2. We are down to the last 35 seconds in Event 2. Got some big lifts going on here. Some big deadlifts.
This 405 isn't stopping very many people.
Not yet, not yet. I've seen a couple of people bow out, but for the most part, we're getting those in there. I know when I'm in Heat 3, I'm not getting 405. Not for a double anyway. Got some big lifts. 11th Element in the house, making some big lifts over there. I think they maxed out their 405. Looks like the men are done. And time. So now we have a 2-minute transition. So they've just done 19 minutes of work without any transitions, without any rest, other than when they're not lifting or rowing. But we've got a 2-minute transition now to Event 3. So let's take a view back. Let's watch the gear crew set up for the next event. Give you a little selfless plug for Validus Event Series and the affiliate gathering here. Then we'll jump back into the ant view, the resolving shot. So Event 3, let's go over that real quick during this transition. We've got 10 kettlebell ground to overheads, and again, that can be a snatch. That can be a clean and jerk. You can pick it up off the floor, swing it between your legs, then snatch it up. However you want to get it up there, ground to overhead, doesn't matter. The only standard for this is you have to lock out your arm at ear level there. You have to get it beside the ear, vertical, above ground, and it has to touch the floor between reps. We have been warned as athletes that it cannot be dropped. These are expensive kettlebells provided by Rogue Fitness, so we are not dropping any of these things. No ghost rides to the floor. So slow and controlled down on that last rep. So 10 reps of that, immediately followed by 10 burpees to plate. The standard on that is the nipples have to touch the ground, and they have to jump up onto the plate. So each athlete has to complete 1 round of that and then tag out to another athlete. Only 1 athlete can work at a time, and only 3 athletes work during this event. So the strategy for this is you have to find your people who can do the best ground to overheads with kettlebells and burpees. Now the other 3 athletes get a little bit of a rest here. So they get, in addition to that 2-minute transition, they get an 8-minute rest. So they've got a 10-minute rest, and then they go into Event 4. The remaining 3 athletes that did not do Event 3 are responsible for Event 4. So we're starting up in 3, 2, 1, and let's check out the action down on the floor here. Let's see what's going on. Again, Heat 1, 6-person team competition. We're going strong with those kettlebells, ground to overhead. Let's get a better view here so we don't have people standing in front of the cameras. All right, a little bit better there. Not too bad. All right, we got some action going on here with Route 33. Getting those kettlebells overhead with the woman. Their strategy is using a woman for the ground overhead kettlebells. We got seeing a lot of women in this event. Again, Heat 1, event number 3. Getting those burpees to plate done right now. See one strategy there. We got a little bit of quicker action going on over here. And now tagged out, the next guy jumps right in and starts up on those ground overheads with the kettlebell. Again, standard, has to touch the floor. They can get that up overhead as any way they want. You can see they're doing that with this full snatch. No clean and jerk with these guys. They're not messing around. Going straight up with that thing. Men's weight is 53 pounds. Women's weight is 35. So now we transition over. Like I said, each athlete has to get their nipples to the ground and their feet up on the plate for each rep to count. Now, if they don't get their feet up to the plate, but they did touch their nipple to the ground, they don't have to do the burpee all over again. They can just jump right back up on that plate. But if they don't touch their nipples to the ground, they've got to redo that burpee from the beginning. A lot of action going on there. We just saw AJ doing a flyby, the head gear crew. Looks like things are running pretty smooth to me, though. I think the transitions have been really good. The gear crew's all over it today. There we go. We got some action over here on the right side. Got some serious lady contenders here going ground to overhead, full snatch. Nice. Good movement going on here. Again, we are in Heat 1, Event 3. This is an 8-minute AMRAP. So we have about 5.5 minutes left, 5:20. So checking the clock there, we got 5 minutes, 20 seconds left on this event. This is a burner, 8 minutes of full nonstop. Your only break is when your other athlete's going. Now those other 3 athletes, they have to stay behind the line. So they're not competing, they're not on the floor, they can't assist with anything. And they've got to stand behind the line and just cheer on their athletes. So you got 3 athletes working right now. Next event, another 3 athletes. So very, very quick pace here. This is kind of, cannonball run style. So just one event to the other. Each heat, your team will complete the competition. So we're just going from event to event. All 6 events done at one time. Back to back to back to back to back. Trying to get inside of that top 20 so they can compete again tomorrow for the finals. A lot of activity going on here. Those transitions look pretty smooth to me. So we got best friends. We got best friends and CrossFit Olentangy kicking some butt here, moving really strong here. Best friends there doing their snatches with the kettlebell, getting overhead, jumping right into those burpees. They're starting to get winded now. They've probably each done about 2 or 3 rounds of this, and with those weights, it starts to get a little heavy. It's more about the repetition than it is about the weight. So we're just getting a ton of reps in. And they've got it, after they're done, they've got a nice little 8-minute rest themselves. So the Event 4 athletes get a 10-minute rest, and these guys are going to get a little 8-minute rest before we start the sled pulls. See some nice activity over here. So the streaming bandwidth and what you're seeing right now is brought to you by Jolo Kia. They're providing the bandwidth for us today, so making this webcast possible. We've got Rob McKeeman running things on the webcast as far as the production and setting up all the cameras, all the angles you're seeing today. That's his baby.
Hey guys, tweet at us. Let us know you're out there. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you're thinking. You can tweet directly at Validus Arnold CF, at VALIDUS ARNOLD CF as in CrossFit, or you can just hashtag Arnold CF, and we'll check out and see what you guys got going on over there. A lot of people retweeting that the live feed is up.
That live feed is EndeavorDCF.com. Arnold 2015. You guys are on it, so you don't need to hear it, but let your friends know. Retweet it out there. Follow us. We've got 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this event. Athletes are going for every rep that they can get, knowing that they've got a nice little 8-minute break after this.
Thank you, CrossFit 740, which tweeted at Validus Arnold CF. It's going down. It is going down.
Trying to get those last reps in. We've got 1:45 seconds left. 1:45 seconds. Lots of activity going on here.
Our judge is very diligent. They're down on the ground. They're looking at the athletes, making sure their chest touches, making sure their feet touch.
That's right. They've got to get up onto that plate. They got to get down to their nipples on the ground. They will call no reps, so you have to be sure that you meet that standard. So the Bacon team, Route 33. There we go. Heat 1, Event 3. 1 minute to go, Event 3. They're doing everything they can to pull ahead of everyone else by getting in as many reps as they can. No messing around now. No waiting. I've already explained the standards. Quick transitions. One man off, one woman on. Jumping right into those ground overheads. Their pace is slowing down just a little bit if you haven't noticed. But they're still pulling a pretty good pace here.
20 seconds left. This event is over. There will be a 60-second transition. 60-second transition.
And that's basically just for the gear.
And then the other 3 athletes, they're going to go. So
10 seconds left. 10 seconds left. They're trying to get in the last reps they can.
Boom. All right, 60 seconds. What's coming up is 5 power cleans, 7 bar over burpees, and 9 wall ball. This group of 3 is the same thing. 8 minutes long, trying to crank out as many reps as they can.
Let's talk about those standards. Power cleans, they have to reach full hip extension.
Elbows out in front.
Elbows out in front of the plane of the bar. So if they have bad mobility, all they have to do is get the elbow in front of the bar. It doesn't have to be up super high, just in front of the bar. So if you get it up to the front rack and you're not fully locked out, but you start to bring that bar down, that is a no rep, no quick cleans. You've got to get that thing up into the rack with full hip extension at the same time before you can bring that bar back down. Those are all the way back down to the back down to the ground. You are not required to do a full squat clean. We're just doing power cleans here. So 10 of those, or 5 of those, followed immediately by 7 bar over burpees. The standard for that is nipples to the ground. Then they have to jump off of 2 feet and land on 2 feet. They cannot do the little prancy dance over the bar. If they do, they have to redo the jump. And then we've got 9 wall balls after that. So those 9 wall balls, the important thing about those wall balls is they have to get full squat depth. They have to break parallel. So as long as they get that depth, they're fine. They have to hit the target. Now, we've got the same height for women and men, so they have to get that thing up to the target. Women use the 14-pound ball, men use the 20-pound. Did you get that? Maybe see if I'll do that.
Guys, you get a nice view of the field right now. The entire thing is up and running here. As you can see, spectators are trickling in. A bunch of friends and family here to see these guys. I'd imagine you're doing the same. You just can't be here. Maybe you got more important things to do. They are cranking through this. The athlete needs to do an entire round, and then they just keep rotating.
Hey, I'm having a problem with self-promotion. That's what they were saying. We also got time too.
Down here at the front on 5 and 6, 5 is on the right, left is on the 6, we have FTW CrossFit and Wake and Bacon, which is from Route 33. I did confirm that down there talking with their coach, Adam Wigan.
See those wall balls getting down into full depth. You can see those judges really checking to make sure they're getting below parallel. And they'll call them out on that. They have to get up there and touch that target. If it touches the target, they're good. If it doesn't, it's a no rep. They've got to do that one all over again. And we have to get 9 wall balls in before we transition to the next athlete. Again, each athlete has to complete the full round themselves. No tagging out in the middle of the round. So once they complete that round, they tag out to the next athlete. They immediately start right into those 5 power cleans.
Lots of shirts already coming off. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys so far that we can see with their shirts off. Expect more to come off before the end of the day. Right now it's pretty good in here, not too hot. These human batteries down here will heat this space up. We asked them to keep the room at a nice cool 64 degrees. So the air conditioning will be combating all the heat coming off these athletes.
So it's a nice shot down the rig here. You can see all the different people doing their wall balls, catching little glimpses of the power cleans off in the distance, but nice little shot there of all those wall balls going down. Get us over to some of the action. There were some more of the power cleans there on the right-hand side. Get a little bit of both going on there.
You can see the gear crews are eager. They're getting ready to go. We are 3.5 minutes into this. We have another 4.5 minutes to go. After this is the Big Nasty sled push. Really excited to see what these sleds sound like on the concrete. It's going to sound crazy the entire time.
Let's hope to catch as much of that audio as we can. This shot with the 2 box cameras. Halfway done with event 4. This is Rob McKeeman and Dude Pool coming at you from the webcast booth up here at the Arnold CrossFit Competition Midwest Affiliate Gathering. We are at Taft Coliseum, so if you're watching us and you're in Columbus, Ohio, or thereabout, somewhere around 270, come on down. Watch it live and in person. See all these sweating, shirtless men, and hopefully we'll get some shirtless women as well. I don't know if that's going to go down or not, but we'll see. Getting some shots of some nice wall balls here. We have 3 minutes remaining in this event. 3 minutes. Again, just like with event 3, these athletes are fighting to get as many reps as possible, trying to separate themselves from the field, get their team up there in the rankings, trying to stay in the top 20 so that they can compete again tomorrow.
I don't know if you're seeing what I'm seeing, but it looks like they're actually picking up the pace. It looks like they're moving faster.
Yeah, it looks like maybe these people came in a little cold and they're starting to warm up from that 8-minute rest. So maybe there's something to that. Do a couple jumping jacks while you're waiting over there. Get yourself warm so you don't have to warm up during the event. That 10, 11 minutes worth of rest there might have been a little too much for some of these guys.
Yeah, I think rounds are getting faster.
That's what I'm thinking. I see the same thing.
What I'm seeing is very fast cleans, very fast burpees, and very smart pacing on the wall ball. Everybody's pretty much dialed in, not seeing a lot of misses or no reps on the wall ball. One of the worst things you can do is not get depth, right? So even though you're trying to move that as fast as possible and you're eager to get back up, You got to make sure you get all the way down there. You really want to feel those hamstrings smash against your calves.
Let's catch some power cleans going down here. Look at that. Good hip extension. Getting those elbows through past the bar. Got
Nice.
2 ladies going at a time.
Yeah, nice themed socks going on over there.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot of those long 80s style socks today. Some of them have some messages on them. I saw some that said bacon. I saw another that said something about unicorns on them.
Making statements with our calves.
Unicorn power, I think is what I saw. We like unicorns.
And again, I think the pace is picking up. We have 1 minute left. 1 minute left in this.
Seeing some of the athletes taking a little breather while the other athletes are moving, trying to stay fresh until their turn comes. Some good depth over there on the wall balls. We have just over 30 seconds, 35 seconds left in this event. Again, the athletes are aware. They're looking at the clock. They're trying to get as many reps in as possible. Flying on those bar over burpees. Flying on those, trying to get down. Nipples to the ground, off both feet, on both feet, over the bar. So, Rob, I've got a serious question for you. How much do you think beards play in the performance in this?
You know, you see all the articles on Facebook, and you got to take anything from the internet with a grain of salt, but I'll interrupt that statement to let you know we're moving on to the sled push.
Event 5, sled pulls. So it's a rope pull. They've got to stay seated. Each athlete has to take a turn until they can no longer pull the weight. Then they move on without that athlete. It's scored just like the deadlift ladder. It's cumulative weight per team. So the total weight that each athlete was able to pull is added together for a total score. Rob is actually one of the people in charge of the scoring of this event, all these events, I should say.
Yeah, the way this gets scored is that the heaviest weight each athlete pulls. So they'll put the weight on there, everyone will pull it, and they'll keep adding. And when someone fails, whatever weight they completed contributes to their team score. Once all 6 athletes have failed and you have a total, that's what they would have in that event. Back to the beard conversation. You see all these articles, and most of my internet, all my news comes from Facebook. I don't go out and look at Reuters or.
I mean, that's where the best news comes from, I think.
MSNBC. I don't do any of that stuff, and you know, I click the links to the articles. I don't know how valid they are, but you see all these things that. Lots of pros with beards, not so many cons. They definitely protect you from UV rays and keep your face moist and things like that. I think those are pretty easily proven.
Oh, I think
now
so.
the ones that are like subjective, like character, they're better fathers. They tend to have more testosterone, be more manly. I think maybe that's a perception thing, but not necessarily a fact. You getting a good picture in there?
Yeah, I'm
got
going to
Dude
post
Pool.
something up to the Validus at the Arnold Twitter feed.
Even we're not too cool to break out our phones and take pictures of these events,
Hey, I'm a tourist whenever I'm not competing.
which you are doing today, right?
I am. Heat 3, Bald Avengers.
Shout out to David Brown, who is watching us live. He said, at Validus Arnold CF, this is making me want to compete.
That's what we want to
David
hear.
Brown, if you're hearing this right now, tell us where you're at and why you're not competing.
Yeah,
And
tell us
we'll
why
get
you're
this
not.
conversation going. Are you just not a team player, like you prefer to do your own thing? Because we had an individual thing yesterday, and we got and if you don't like co-ed, like you're shy, girls make you feel shy, we got the
Single
same-sex
sex, yeah.
4-man teams, or 4-person teams, I should say, tomorrow. Tomorrow that'll be 16 men's teams and 14 women's teams.
So we've got the transition going down here. They're setting up those sleds. The gear crew is working hard to keep this moving. Athletes are getting a little bit of a rest here after burning themselves out for 8 minutes. So we're going to see how this goes down. We've got kettlebells marking the distance that they have to pull past. Let's hope those kettlebells don't get in the way as they're pulling. But we've got markers down there to where they need to pull past. This is a progressive weight ladder. So as they complete one weight, they add more plates to it. And again, As an athlete fails, they bow out and the rest of the team moves on without them. As Rob mentioned earlier, the cumulative score is the way we're going to score this. So whatever the top weight each athlete gets and successfully completes past that kettlebell is what will be added to their score. So there will be 6 scores added together, 3 men, 3 women, added together for one team score, and that's the cumulative weight of all those athletes added together. And we're getting a little shot of the Taft Arena right now. I think inadvertently, but there you go. We've got a big house this year.
Look, we have lights. There are
have
lights. It's early in the day.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we go. See some sleds moving.
As you can see, the one athlete has to sit himself behind the rope, take hold of that rope, and drag that sled 10 meters. Once they get it clear, the willing athlete can slap kills on the floor. They can run way down, or go back right there where they're going to go.
So they're just stacking 45s. Everyone does the weight, add a 45. Everybody does the weight, add a 45.
Now you can see here they're using foot anchors. They've got a slippery surface down there with that cement floor. So other athletes are giving them a foot anchor so that they can pull and not slide forward. They don't want their body moving past the goal target of the pool. So they're giving themselves those foot anchors, running the rope down, setting up another foot anchor on the other side, and starting their pull. So transition period is key here. You see a little bit of a struggle on the left-hand side, getting that rope down to the other side. Transitions are key.
They got a pretty good system going on here. Everyone's moving back and forth pretty good. It looks like we quite haven't had anyone add a plate yet. We're about 90 seconds into the event.
All 6 athletes have to complete the pull before they add a plate, or fail a pull, I should say, one or the other. But all 6 athletes have to take a turn before they move to the next plate. Now, once they lose an athlete due to a failed attempt, then at that point, that athlete no longer touches the bar, and they don't have to make any more attempts. So they're down to 5 or 4 or 3 athletes taking those pulls. So you'll see the weights start to go up higher as the athletes fail, or faster, I should say. The weights will start going up faster as the athletes start to fail, and they get down to 3 and 4 athletes still working. Now we've got a 4-minute transition after this event, and that 4-minute transition will lead into the Death by 50 rep event 6. Once this event's over.
All right, most everyone's got 3 plates on. This is going to be a precision deal, right? If they're completing sets and running the ropes back down to each other and hustling, and they're only beating the guy next to them by a half a second, those are eventually going to add up, and they're going to have a couple guys that get an extra plate on there. I don't think the issue is going to be not being able to pull the weight. I think the weight is going to slow them down. So I don't see anyone failing per se. I see it just becoming much slower. Everybody has 3 plates though. Officially, everybody has 3 plates. I don't see any 2-plate people. The foot anchors seem to be being able to get longer, harder pulls in.
I'll pull it up.
With these, I wouldn't call it polished concrete, but fairly smooth concrete floors. To me, what seems to be the fastest are the big long pulls that do about 3 to 4, as opposed to just doing arm over arm. Getting the whole body involved and really just yanking it down the line seems to be faster. I don't see any consistent pulling that looks to be faster than that method. I see 4 plates. I see 4 plates. Still got a couple there with 3.
Doesn't matter. We can do it that way. That's
Lane
fine.
5 still has 3. Lane 3 still has 3. Lane 2 still has 3. I'm sorry. Lane 1 has 3. Lane 2 does have 4 plates. Little rock tape on the back there.
One of our sponsors. See, we've got standing room only. People are preferring to stand at the fence as opposed to the seats up in the crowd. We've got a big crowd here today.
Everybody wants to be close to see their friends compete.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think unless your dogs have had it from walking around the Arnold all weekend, the seats are a little less desirable. But there really isn't a bad seat in the house, other than the far side over by athlete warm up. Obviously, that's
maybe the
kind of
corners.
far out.
Yeah.
But all of that red seating across from us looks pretty good. And unless you're trying to see a smile on a face, you got a pretty good view, regardless of where you're at.
We've got music. You can probably hear that overhead. That is being provided to us from DJ Derek DuPont. He's been here all weekend, doing the individual event yesterday, doing the team event today and tomorrow. He is here all weekend. His music selection is outstanding. So everything you hear in the background music-wise is being provided by DJ Derek DuPont. What's the cap? 8 minutes?
8-minute cap on this event, and then there's going to be a 4-minute transition to event 6. Event 6 is just a giant pile. So
I'm calling it death by 50 reps.
yeah, there's 250 reps per round, and what makes this 15-minute AMRAP tricky is that all athletes are stationed on one end, and they have to run all the way down to do work. So it's not like they can stand there in a group and one person stops, the next can go. They have to travel and be in a designated area in order for their reps to count, and everyone else has to remain in another designated area. We have a little less than a minute left. Like I said, there'll be a 4-minute transition, and then we'll be moving forward with the final event of Heat 1 on our 6-man co-ed competition. Again, tweet at us. Tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you see. Let's get a shirt count. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got 8 shirts off right now. At 9. Another shirt just went.
That's a big change from the beginning of the workout,
9.
which had 0.
0.
I think we lost 1 in event 2, and we're going about 50-50 here on event 5 now. Trying to get some last ones in. They got 10 seconds left. They're trying to finish strong. Try to get one more completed pull in.
Nice.
3,
FTW
2,
down here in the corner.
1. Get it across. No rep. Oh, no rep on that last one. Wow. That was so close. They were about a foot short on that one.
So we got 4 minutes, then we're going to move on to the big 50s.
So event 6, I'm sorry. So let's just run through these. You got 50 American kettlebell swings, 50 pull-ups, 50 10-meter runs, 50 hand release push-ups, 50 box jumps, box jump overs, I should say. So, and then you start back over at the top again. Now you can tag in and out however you want in this event. You don't have to complete 50 as an individual athlete. Or all 250 either. You can do 10 if you want, then tag out. But the trick is on this, to tag out, you have to run a weight plate from the designated area back to your athlete, hand it off behind the line, and then they push that back over to the designated area, and no reps will count until that plate is in the designated area. So
3
only
minutes
one
left on
athlete.
this transition.
Yeah, one athlete can work at a time. We're going to start this one in 3 minutes. This one is going, I think, to separate the teams. This one's really going to create a big separation between the top and bottom teams here with as many reps as they can pull.
Not to mention they've already done 45 minutes of work.
Right,
So this isn't like fresh off, let's go. Like we've already been doing what would be equivalent to 3 or 4 wads at the gym, and now we're going to do this big, massive chipper. And not only is it a chipper, but it's an AMRAP chipper. So you finish all 250, great. Start back from the beginning, do it again. So you do this for 15 minutes. My guess is we will see somewhere around 750 reps. I think that can be done.
You think we're going to see some people getting through 3-4 rounds?
I think people are going to approach 3 full rounds.
So you think right close to the 3-4 round is going to be one of the separators? You think they get up that high?
Yeah.
So you think we're going to see any people fail to get the full 250 at the first round? Any teams, you think? How long do we have on this one? We've got 15 minutes.
So that would be about 5 minutes to get through a round. And if you're moving, if you look at it, if you're moving, it can be done.
I was just telling him keep doing what he's doing. Those are good camera angles we're getting in those. Hey, hold up that. Hold that up. Can you hear me? When they're doing pull-ups, try to get a few angles from the floor up. So we're going to try to get some nice dynamic views. We've got one guy manning a camera down on the floor. You're seeing some of those. He had the nice angle for the rope pulls. We're going to try to get a few good angles of those pull-ups. Now those pull-ups, they can be any style of pull-up you want. They can be butterfly, they can be kipping, they can be strict if you want. I don't know anyone who's going to knock out a ton of those strict, but they could. I think we had Shannon Deerwester. Yeah.
Shannon Deerwester.
Both of us at the same time.
His body refuses to move dynamically.
Right. He locks in those strict hands or pull-ups nonstop.
He's not competing this year. He's got a bulging disc. He was on the team last year. He was
on my team
local
last year,
police
yeah.
officer here.
Yep.
And
he's a beast.
He's the only person I know that can do strict pull-ups that fast.
And that many, stringing them together.
Built like a robot.
Yeah, I think he is a robot. I think they're still doing testing at the
he
police
does not
academy.
have emotion, that's for sure.
Right.
He's emotionless. He's not happy.
Last
he's not
I
sad.
heard, they were checking his DNA to see if he is indeed a robot. There was some question down at the force for that.
Yeah, I think the only thing he experiences is disappointment.
Yeah, and he had that in me last year on my team. I saw that look a few times.
You know what? It pushes you to be better.
It does. You know what? And since he hasn't been there at the gym, I've failed to get as much better as I was on track to do with him looking at me disappointed every day.
We are 1 minute away from getting this kicked off.
Guys, we are very close. We are very close, making sure that all the equipment is set up and ready to go.
Try to get an angle looking up at the athletes. Try to look up at the athletes.
Gear crews putting the finishing touches to get ready for this WOD. All the athletes waiting anxiously behind the line. I don't even think they want any more rest. I think they just want to start moving. So we got kettlebell swings, then pull-ups, 10-meter runs. We got hand release push-ups. Hand release push-ups make the measuring standard just a little bit easier. So that, the hands come off the ground. It's a very easy way to verify that the chest has touched the ground. Okay, then they push back up. And then one of the things you'll see, which I don't know, from the angles we're giving you, hopefully you'll be able to tell. But if the body doesn't move as a single unit. If it doesn't move in a plank position and it kind of snakes up, the back gets weak, the core gets weak, the reps will not count. Okay. So again, event 6, getting ready to kick off, making sure everything is in place. This is the final event for the first heat. As you can see, everything is almost where it needs to be, and we are ready to rock and roll.
All right, our leaders, all lanes are good, set to go.
we'll get moving with that and let you know where everyone stands throughout the day.
Event 6. Now we're starting off with 50 American kettlebell swings, which means the arms have to get up even with the ears.
Again, we're making it easy on our judges. Instead of a subjective eye height, the kettlebell, that the hands need to be over the shoulders over the hips. It makes it easier to objectively measure a rep. About 40 seconds in, these kettlebells are cooking. We got two PSKC teams down here on the back left of your screen. That's Portsmouth Kettlebell Club. So I would expect them to be good at this. I would expect them to be one of the first ones to finish. In fact, I see a plate going back. I don't know if all 50 have been finished yet, but as he starts running forward, we're going to find out. And he is not. He has moved on. So there's another person there with kettlebells. We don't have anyone moving on to the pull-ups quite yet.
I don't think you can have the name Kettlebell Club and not be good at kettlebells.
So last year at this event, you had an option. You had an option on what size kettlebell. And Dale, who is the coach, and he's actually competing on this team, that's him running down in what would be in lane 9, I believe.
Grabbing a kettlebell right
him
now.
with his shiny bald head.
And the red shorts.
His smoothly cleaned head. Down there.
Made a little mistake on his plate placement.
He told all of his teams that they were taking the heavier weight, that there was no other way to do that. And as you can see, he's smoking that. In terms of speed, he's pretty efficient with that kettlebell. Looking around, I'm going to give you another shirt count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're up to 9 shirtless people.
Seeing a lot of butterflies here. A lot of butterflies going on in the pull-ups. Very efficient way to do it.
If you guys out there see a shirt come off, please tweet it at us. I don't want to miss that.
Yeah, I don't want to miss it either. Let me know.
I basically measure the intensity of these events we program by how quickly and how many shirts we get off. So it's not just quantity, it's quality. The sooner they come off, I think the better we're doing.
See a nice shot from a distance there of all the pull-ups that are happening. Seems like pretty much everyone's there at the same time.
We're 3 minutes in and they're on the second set of 50. My hopes and dreams of 750 reps are not being realized at the moment. Right now, I think I have to adjust my expectation to the 500.
How many minutes are we?
We're almost 4 minutes in, and we are approaching 100 reps.
Well, I think we'll see what happens when we get a third of the way in. If we get through a round, then you might have your dream.
All right, we got a couple teams running, so they're at 100 reps plus. Moving on. They keep these runs going, but these runs are going to be the longest set of reps. Obviously, running 10 meters is a little more time consuming than anything else we have on this list. The next longest thing will be the box jump overs, which those will start right after 50 hand release push-ups. The hand release push-ups should go relatively quick as well.
Looks like we got 7 teams running right now out of the 10. We still have.
And I think this is where in my opinion, this is where the event is won, right?
I agree.
People haul in on this run.
Got 2 people still struggling with the pull-ups. Everyone else is on the shuttle runs. So I think once those 2 finish, we're going to be back to full house running. This is where the separation is going to happen, though. I think those 50 runs are going to go pretty quick. After doing those in the individual yesterday, I think we were able to get about 15 in a minute, 16 in a minute with no problem with just a jog. So if they pick up their pace a little bit, I think you can fit those in 2 minutes, most likely.
I'll tell you what, equipment here. The choice in shoes is a big deal. If you look down here on what we're calling lane 5, the closest in the front, this guy's sliding all over the place. He's sliding all over the place pretty good. A lot of other people, they got pretty good grip on their shoes. They're getting good stops. But that sliding is going to take a lot of energy out of you, stabilizing, pushing back against it. So definitely equipment choices here are affecting it. And it looks like the guy down in the farthest lane with those knee-high socks is experiencing a little bit of slipping and sliding. Still waiting to see someone in the hand release push-up realm. Haven't seen that quite yet. These runs are time consuming. We're approaching the 6-minute mark. Hey, Amber! Amber! Sorry guys, they're dealing with some technical issues. We are back. Aaron doing a great job today. Again, he got hit with a forklift on Thursday. We were setting up. Wrong place, wrong time. The forklift itself just kind of banged his foot. He's had a limp. It looks like it's worked out some today though. He looks a little less gimpy. He's hit. Push-ups are happening. We're knocking these out. Trying to get a good idea of what these team strategies are. I don't know if they're just deciding to do a certain amount of reps and trade off, or if they're doing it by feel and knocking out what they think they can do. Our judges being incredibly diligent on these runs, making sure the kettlebells are touched. The tendency is on the runs, when they go to get the plate, they just pass the kettlebell and grab, and we're insistent on the touch for the rep to count, even though, you know, they clearly ran farther than the kettlebell itself.
Yeah, and as your body starts to get tired, I think you tend to forget little things like that. I think yesterday in the individual competition, we saw a person run through on their last rep, not touch the kettlebell, and they didn't get to go to the next round. Right.
Now 142 on that particular athlete cost them 7 places.
Yep.
7 places. So, and then the other thing, when these guys get tired, it's the standard is the plate has to cover up the black X on the floor. And if it's anywhere else, they have to go back and move that plate. And the judges are, again, being diligent on that. So that placement. And one of the things I think we forget sometimes in CrossFit is that accuracy is a component. We just don't have a lot of opportunities to use it. And today we have that with this plate placement, as benign as it may seem, along with the wall ball too. Obviously those shots have to be accurate. So with that being said, we finally have people moving on to these box jumps. Where are we at here? What team is that? Best Friends down here is killing it. They're moving back and forth. And Best Friends, they won the Validus event, team event over the summer in June. They are a combination of practice CrossFit and long road CrossFit. So you got Josh Bunch's guys, and you also have Nate and Crystal Long's team. And they combine together for a pretty strong team.
Super team?
So with them being in the first heat, I expect to see their head at the top of the leaderboard for most of the day. Thanks to the lovely Carrie McMillan, who is bringing me a much needed water. I am parched. The air conditioning in this place is drying me out. I've been applying chapstick over and over. If you're watching, like you're in transit to coming here, definitely bottled water and chapstick.
You don't have enough plate.
No.
Just change their lane.
I think they want to be closest to me.
Give them an option. No, we can't. They're USB. Tell them if they want to be on the or to be on the side of the ring if they want. So tell them they have a choice. Not HDMI, no. Just USB. Give them a choice. Let them know.
All right, guys, we are 10 minutes and 30 seconds into this. All right,
we have some second round starting up here. I don't think we're gonna get the. I don't even think we're gonna get the 500 to be honest.
Yeah, they got a little over 4 minutes of working time. My hopes and dreams are crushed. I was hoping for a 750, but again, like I said, this isn't fresh. You know, fresh maybe we'd be breaching 500, but they've already been doing work for 40 plus minutes. So, and I think the average heat time is about 1 hour and 7 minutes. So we got 6 people moving.
To the 10-meter sprint. This time, we're in the back. We're going to find out who's joined there at 3 minutes and 4 seconds.
If you guys are out there, tweet at us. We're happy to give you shout outs or see what you're thinking. It's at Validus Arnold CF, or you can just hit hashtag Arnold CF and we'll be checking it, see what you guys have to say. We got RPM Fitness. They're out here in the Twittersphere. They're at the back end of our vendor village with some jump ropes and stuff. They're also pumping out some Twitter pics.
They're also a sponsor for the event this weekend.
Thank you to Leo Cormanic II. CrossFit Comp is underway. Arnold CF at Ohio Sports Cairo over there. Got a nice picture from Scott Lively.
We can't, even if it did, I don't know that we could make changes that quick. We have 3 HDMI cameras we have to use. We can only use 3 USB inputs. So.
We got team pictures of CrossFit Scioto, the Scioto surfers, pushing their Instagram feed over here.
I don't know. I mean, you can zoom in on it. Get them as much as possible.
And a big thanks to Nate Long, who is currently competing, asking all of his people at Long Road to watch us as well.
Inside of the rig a little bit to get closer. We are down to inside of 2 minutes. Inside of 2 minutes. As Rob mentioned, his hopes and dreams are being dashed here. I've done that probably 5 times this week alone, just on the webcast information. So I know what it feels like to disappoint Rob.
Guys, I'm taking off. I'm going to go down and get this scoring started so I can report back to you, let you know who's leading this thing off. Matt is coming to sign in.
We need one more commentator, probably. I don't want him to have to do both. I don't want to overload him.
Matt's coming in here. He's going to help us out with transitions and some video. We're going to get some other voices up in the box.
So stay tuned as this one winds down. We've got another minute, 5 seconds. We'll be fine. So Matt's going to take a little pit stop before he comes up and mans the booth. So we are 55 seconds away. They're trying to get through those pull-ups. Looks like haven't been paying attention, I apologize, but I think we've got some people on the second round of shuttle sprints, which would put us up to the 350, approaching 400 mark. So we've got 30 seconds for them to try to get to 400 reps. So we're going to see the benchmark here. It looks like we've got 15 seconds to try to get to 400 reps. Let's see what happens here. They're really sprinting. They know that this is it. They know this every single rep could count. We're down to 5 seconds here. The crowd is actually getting into this. They're clapping. 2, 1, and time. Oh, and he got that in at the last second. What a dive. Got that kettlebell, touched it, got the last rep. Hey, that last rep could make the difference in the entire competition. You can see that in these athletes' faces. They're excited. Their team's over there congratulating them. They know, hey, right now, they might be in the leaderboard here at number 1. So, hey, I think these athletes and these teams understand how important this last event is, getting the most reps possible. I really think a lot of these events, there might be some ties, but I think this event, since it's 1 rep at a time, there's going to be a lot of separation here, a lot of separation. So I think we're going to see a lot of people really giving everything they've got in that last event. So we're going to get ready to start up Heat 2. So as we do a little bit of housekeeping here, the gear crew's out there working their butts off. We've got a transition. I'm going to give us a little bit of a video to go to. So hold on 1 second.
Chains only bring me.
I think over there.